Willie Mullins had longed to win jump racing's blue ribbon event, the Cheltenham Gold Cup, but he had to wait till 2019 when this lad, Boum Photo, gave him his first success in the race. He would then go on to be successful again in 2020. He didn't get to do the three-peat, but what a career he still had. And we've caught up with Boum Photo and Louise Duffy as he embarks on his new life post-retirement.
And then Monolly at the final fence, and both the leaders coming up well. Boum Photo on the far side of Lost in Translation. Santini, Monolly, Real Steel Delta Worm. Boum Photo by a length to Lost in Translation. Santini is staying on strongly, very strongly. Boum Photo, back-to-back Gold Cup.
So Louise, here we are with the dual Gold Cup hero Boum Photo. Firstly, just give us a bit of a brief background on you. How did you come to Boum Photo, and what's your own background in terms of looking after some of these retrained racehorses?
So I'm an amateur rider, basically, who I think kind of just got lucky enough to fall into some really nice horses. So I work for a UK-based company and a chemical consultancy company, so they are very much just a hobby, but I just really enjoy working with them. I've been very fortunate to have, obviously, this guy. We have our Vika Legionnaire as well. And as I said, yeah, very lucky to just be asked to take them in their retirement.
So how did that happen? How did Boum Photo end up being with you?
So I had... Boum is the third one that I've had from Clusutton. I had our Vika Legionnaire I've had a Vika Legionnaire for 11 years. And when our Vika got injured eventing, I kind of sent a message to Jackie to let her know. And that basically, if there's anything looking for a home or looking for a new job or something that wanted to do a life after racing, that you just let me know. That was back in, I would say, probably December of that year. And in May, I got a message from her to say that Boum and Melon and Live, Love, Laugh were potentially looking for homes. So that was quite a surprise. It was quite surreal. I actually got the text, I think, on a Thursday or Friday evening when I was finished work. Switched the phone off and switched it back on again to make sure it wasn't a mistake. But that's kind of how it came about. And a couple of weeks later, we went down to see the three of them. And yeah, he was the one that came home.
And obviously you knew about his CV previously, but the opportunity to have a horse who's won 2 Gold Cups, obviously he tried to win a third. It didn't really happen for him that time, but that must have been quite incredible, no?
Yeah, it was, but it was more than, I suppose it was just him as the horse that appealed to me as well. Like, obviously, the 2 Gold Cups was huge, but there was just something about him as a horse that I really just liked. You know, there was just something about him, and that's kind of what I always look for, you know, because obviously they're doing more than just racing. They're doing more that you want to see what they're like. They're doing more than just what they were used to. So there kind of has to be something about them that appeals, and it was just him.
So what is his new career? What have you sort of done with him since he's been with you?
So he's primarily done eventing, kind of working hunter, a little bit of dressage, a little bit of show jumping, but primarily he seems to love eventing. He seems to absolutely love it. So that's what we've been working towards now for the last season and a bit. We spent kind of a year not doing a lot with him, taking him out and about, hacking him, a few shows, just to see what he wanted to do, to let him find his feet, see what he liked doing the most, and then we've kind of just let him guide us that way. So
and we were sort of talking beforehand, you were saying that when your first year training him, he was still in that sort of racehorse mode in terms of he usually obviously lined up before the Gold Cup with Tremor on New Year's Day, and then he'd run in the Gold Cup. And he would know to the second, sort of that was his usual training schedule. Yeah. The first year he definitely did miss the lead up to Christmas, the lead up to Tremor. He definitely did miss the work. Definitely felt that he knew there was something different. It was the same when you were kind of coming after Christmas, lead up to Cheltenham, when obviously the work would have been ramping up. He was definitely just a bit more unsettled. He knew he was missing out on something, and he knew something was different. So we just kind of tried to learn from that and then make changes the following year. So he got a lot more outings, he got a lot more away days, he got a lot more schooling outings and trips, and so that while he wouldn't necessarily been working as physically as hard, mentally he was kept really busy. So we kind of tried to substitute the physical work with the mental aspect of it. So he still felt like he was working hard. you said earlier about Melon, Live, Love, Laugh and Album were all looking for homes. What was it about him in particular? You didn't say it was his CV. Is it more? I mean, he's a magnificent specimen, isn't he?
He is. Yeah, he is. I mean, for me, like I said, it's hard to pinpoint exactly what it was, but there was just a look about him that you just kind of looked in and went. Him and the look of him, it was just, I can't really even say what it was. It was just something that was there, and that's what I kind of tend to go for, to be honest with you.
Is this enough? You wouldn't want any more for the time being? Is this enough to manage?
I'd never say no.
Oh, okay. Right. So if they offered you Galopin de Champs, you'd say, yeah, all right then.
Oh, there'd be a space found for him. I would, like, you don't consider yourself out, like, you know, as I said, we're very lucky to be trusted with them, and I suppose it's not really something that I take lightly either. You know, I do kind of try and do my best by the horses, and you know, they've trusted me with them, so yeah.
And Willie and Jackie, they still have an active interest in him, but Jackie also plays a key role in really trying to rehome some of the close Sutton superstars. It means a lot to them, their post-retirement.
I think so, yeah. I mean, like I said, we've had Arvika 11 years, and to this day, there's still an active interest. Same with this guy, you know, if I maybe forget to send an update, I get a message saying, did we hear he did well? So it's lovely. That's from Mrs. Donnelly as well. Oops. That's from Mrs. Donnelly as well. So it's lovely that they keep the interest as well.
And what does the sort of future hold for him? Have you got any more ambitions with him, or what do you what's next?
Well, immediately he's going to Ballindennis and Cork next week for the Troella 3-day class down there at Ballindennis International. Basically, over the course of this year, we've kind of figured out a little bit more of a routine with him and figured out what works and what doesn't work, or what we think works and what doesn't work. So it's kind of going to be just build on that over the winter, and hopefully, if we get a bit more rain next year, get him out a little bit more, and see about moving him up the levels and just see. But he'll tell us where he wants to go.
And does Irish racing, do you feel, we were at the Curragh this weekend and there was a parade of some former champions there. Is it doing a good job of highlighting the need to rehome retired racehorses? Is there more that could be done, or do you feel they do a good job of trying to promote the importance of that?
I think there's always more that can be done, but I think even having the racetracks, having opportunity for the racehorses to parade, to show that they're actually doing more than just being chucked in the field, or, you know, maybe not having quite such a good outcome. So there's always more that can be done, but I think it is a really positive start. And even like initiatives like Troella, the training clinics that are supported by Randbox Health, the initiatives, the performance initiatives, it is all a huge step in the right direction in terms of raising their profile, and even getting more riders and getting more of the bigger riders as well to use them in competition. It just raises their profile as sport horses in the competition world. And then also you need to take into account, like I said, very lucky to have the calibre of these, but there's so many others that maybe ran once or ran twice or didn't even make it to the track that deserve the same highlighting, because actually they're as much a part of the racing industry, and it's so important to highlight them as well. You know, we've had them and they are just still incredible horses. You know, regardless of whether they have a history or, you know, a record on the track or not, they're still incredible horses.
And I guess just finally, what's it like to ride a Gold Cup winner? You
do get quite a lot of pinch me moments. There are quite a lot of pinch me moments, but it is very special. It's very special, yeah.